We've had a good day. I took up gold prospecting like 50 years ago after I had the enormous good fortune to meet a gold prospector. I really didn't think people did that anymore, but I took to it like a duck to water because you end up in places like this. It's just wonderful. The locations are good, the people are good, and there is a thrill finding gold. I'll show you some gold in a minute. But now, because I've had a good day, I thought I'll light a very small, very safe fire and we'll cook a steak. I think I deserve a steak after the effort I've put in today. Anyway, right, let's get the grill on. That'll be ready. We'll just need those sticks to burn down to embers a bit more. I've got a couple of steaks from a local butcher. We like to support local industry. And funny enough, someone had left this grill by the river. I'd brought that one with me, but the more the merrier. So we'll let that sanitize. And just while that's cooking down a bit, all I was going to do with the steaks is put a bit of salt on them. And then perhaps, if they're hot enough, I don't know, it's always an experiment. But I bought tomato puree and a bit of cheese because I think when I'm gold panning, being a bit crude, I don't want to go to the toilet any more than I have to. Therefore, high fat, high protein is great, but I don't want roughage, if you'll pardon the directness. What else? Oh, and beans. I thought, what gold prospector doesn't want steak and beans? Anyway, we're cooking it by a river, we're having a great time, and I am warming up wonderfully. Might just sanitize them a bit. Okay, the beans are warming, the fire's nearly ready for the steak. Let me show you what we've found. Been here about 3 days. It's in the coat pocket. I've said before, no one gets rich gold panning. You do it for the sheer love of being out in nature. But it is thrilling when you find some. So here it is, precious. Every one of those gave me a thrill. Wonderful. I mean, that's better than usual, to be honest. Even though I've been doing this for 50 years and I'm supposed to know what I'm doing, that is just brilliant. I don't know, there's just over a gram there, so 3 days, about 100 pounds worth. But never mind, I'm not doing it for money, just for the pure love of it. Okay, let's put this down and let me show you something even more exciting. Now, you only find these once in a blue moon, but when you do, my word, look at that. That is an absolutely fantastic gold nugget. So don't expect to find them, but if you go gold prospecting once in a while, maybe only a few times in your entire life, you'll find a nugget like that. What an absolute beauty. That's treasure. Whoop. My salt nearly went in the river. That would be a bit of a disaster. Anyway, let's salt these steaks and get them on. And I think the thing worth bringing home is a lot of people, I don't know, they wait till retirement to sort of get going in life, and they dream of retirement, and so many of my friends either didn't make retirement or didn't live long enough to enjoy it particularly. I left work early to be free and to be in places like this, to be hunting for gold, meeting people. Just every day is an adventure. Every day feels like a holiday. And in fact, if I keep all my rubbish tidy, I might need to lower those steaks a bit. But before I do, I just wanted to say, oops, better get the beans back on. But trying to capture what it meant to leave work. That's what this book was all about. I wanted to record what I'd done, and also if other people do it, well, bless them, at least it says what I did, because it wasn't easy. It really wasn't easy. You know, I went from having a well-paid job and a comfortable office and sort of TV and a warm house to living in a tent. I lived for, I don't know, nearly 9 years in a cottage without heating, without a kitchen. It didn't have heating, didn't have a kitchen, and it did have rats. So I'm not selling it, I know, but when I first left work, it was tough, and I should have done a bit more preparation. But I soon knuckled down, got myself sorted, and yeah, have this wonderful life, finding gold, finding happiness, you know, being out in the wild. Someone will turn up in a minute and they'll say, "Hello, Vince," I'll know them because I've met them on the river somewhere. Life is good, and I need to lower these stakes or they're not going to cook now. This is a bit fierce. The wind the wind keeps changing direction, which I could do without. Yeah, it's been hard, this fire. One minute the wind's blowing up the valley, next minute it's blowing down again. Come on. Whoops, they're slightly overdone, but never mind. Look at that, the wind is now blowing in exactly the opposite direction. Now it's changing again. Let's get these stakes turned again. Something I did want to talk about is really the two worlds of gold prospecting. You've got this is maybe what everyone thinks of. We've got, I know I've got Charlie filming with me, but when I'm normally doing this, and for all my life, you're mostly on your own. Gold prospecting mostly offers not solitude, but peace, sort of mindfulness. I can be pottering about in a stream or river like this for 10 hours, just hunting for bits of gold, either alone or generally with one friend, and you find bits of gold, you stay away from each other just so you don't crowd each other. Then you come together for lunch or dinner like this and show the bits of gold you found and talk about it. So that's the normal world of gold prospecting, like the old timers going out to California and that originally, the people who hunted and discovered gold. Then the other world is the world of competition. And that, I'll get out the smoke, that is a completely different world. All of a sudden, up to 1,000 gold prospectors a year meet somewhere in the world to eat, drink, dance, share stories and compete to see who's the best at using a gold pan. And that's like the absolute opposite of river panning. All of a sudden you've got a testing environment, lots of pressure, lots of laughter, fun, loads of people. And I think in the wonderful world of finding gold and gold prospecting, that for me is a joy. Most of the year just doing stuff like this, and I'm cooking them too much now, and just whether I go to the British Championships, the European or the World Championships, all of a sudden you're meeting like-minded people and trying to wean their secrets out of them. Gold panners, I don't know, I have been a fisherman, but they're a bit like fishermen. They tend to play down what they found or play up. Very few people bat straight and just tell you what they found. I'm going to cool this down a bit now. Okay, everything's done. I'm going to sit on the bank to eat it. Steaks are very well done, but that is how I like them. Here we are, that's my dinner. Let's make a seat. I think one of the great things in life is the philosophy of enough. When you have enough, you're living like a king. I wanted to rest these a bit, but... Ooh, that's nice. So, come on, come up with me. That was a bit of fun, nice way to live. I'll eat now. I won't let you watch me eating because I'm probably going to drip beans everywhere. But anyway, life is good. Thanks for watching. Whatever your passion in life is, you know, I just hope, as I did with finding gold, I hope you find your passion, and I hope it makes life just great. We're a long time dead, as my friend Alf used to say. I needed that. It's a lot better than it looks.